All right, Brian, thank you for that. Well, in the weeks, Congress could take its first major action on gun control in years. It's after Democrats launched a new push for gun control legislation. Our Washington, D.C. bureau reporter Samantha-Jo is joining us now live on Capitol Hill. And Samantha-Jo, I know you've been talking to Florida lawmakers about the new push. What are they saying about it?
Tammy, in less than 2 years, Florida has seen two of the deadliest mass shootings in U.S. history. And when you talk to Florida lawmakers up here, they agree that something should be done at the federal level, but they have different ideas about how Congress should move forward.
This should have happened years ago.
After the mass shootings at the Pulse nightclub, Fort Lauderdale Hollywood International, and Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School, the Florida congressional delegation says it's time to stop the carnage.
We in the Democratic Congress have heard your voices, have heard your cries.
And for some, the issue is deeply personal.
I lost my father to gun violence when I was 24.
I ask for a moment of silence.
Former Congresswoman Gabby Gifford, standing alongside House Democratic leaders, paused to remember the shooting in Tucson 8 years ago when she nearly lost her life, and introducing new legislation that would require background checks on the sale of any firearm and expand existing background checks for anyone attempting to buy firearms online, commercially, or at gun shows.
90% of Americans support this common sense gun regulation.
While checks are currently required for most gun sales, some private online or gun show sales can be completed without checking a buyer's record.
My initial inclination is that we should run the current databases we have effectively before we start adding others.
Congressman Francis Rooney has a different idea.
What we really need to do, and this bill does not do it, is deal with the exception that when you don't get a background check within a certain number of time, maybe 3 days, I forget the exact amount, that they go ahead and sell the gun. I don't think that's a good thing.
The legislation, which is expected to easily pass in the House, could face a major roadblock in the Republican-led Senate, since the NRA has announced its opposition. But Democrats remain hopeful.
We're planning to put this reform forward, pass it, and encourage our Senate and the president to sign it into law.
Well, Senator Marco Rubio is also reintroducing his federal red flag bill, which would encourage states to pass laws that would make it easier for courts to disarm dangerous people. For now, we're live on Capitol Hill. Samantha-Jo, Spectrum.